Hi everyone, welcome to MGS Coaching Football, and thank you for watching my channel. To subscribers, I really appreciate you, and to non-subscribers, I'm hoping I can tease you into pushing that button. So today, my continuing video series on our version of three match that we call Cover 10. I'm going to go over on both the match and the zone side how we in our Cover 3 match, Cover 10, defend the smash concept. Okay? So cover 10 three match versus a 2x2 formation. So I can show you the match in the zone side, right? On the same board. I'm going to show you how we defend the smash concept, okay? So over here, I'll go through the assignments for both the match and the zone side. Then over here, I'll bring it to life for you, complete with all the coaching points and how we progress from our surface key to number two when we're cluing number two, etc., and even how our spinning safeties, how they read the same surface key and how they react, and all of those good things. Okay. So first, the match side. Okay, right here I have an 11 gun Dallas pistol formation. So one back, one tight end. The pass strength is Liz. Right. So non-subscribers, if you want to know why, you'll have to push that button. So this is the match side on the left and the zone side's opposite, right? Okay. So I'm going to start with the match side. So over here, the dime, he's going to end up taking number one on the hitch, okay, because he's going to get a lightning call by the field corner, okay? So therefore, the field corner then, after he makes the lightning call, he's going to expand in and pick up the vertical here of number two, because our field corner has one vertical or out. A hitch or in is going to get a lightning call. Okay, that means the dime's going to pick them up. Our back is going to match three, and our free safety is going to be part of our safety spin that we're going to call Roger. So they spin away from the Liz or Rip. Liz equals a Roger. He's going to make a carry call, which tells the whip, who communicates it to the boundary, that if two goes vertical and he goes straight up the middle, right? And one's vertical, he's going to be taken by the free safety. Okay, so he has to assume that he's got to pick up number two in any kind of vertical. He cannot worry about number one. Okay, the boundary corner is cluing number two. So when we get to the zone side, you'll see how that plays out. He's going to clue two. All right, so what's going to end up happening is he'll be a middle third defender because it's a smash concept, and I'll show you that when we get to the zone side. So speaking of the zone side, our rover, the outside linebacker, is the read rusher. This is a four-man rush concept, right? One of the beauties of three match. The Mike is still going to be the hook curl defender on the zone side. So what you'll end up seeing is he's going to be a Dabo on number three. Okay, and he's going to end up potentially helping with the hitch. Okay, and that'll end up being both the whip and the mic. The boundary's deep third, cluing number two. He'll end up taking the tight end number two on the corner. Okay, the tight end number two on the corner. And then our whip is to complete the safety spinning. Our whip is the screw down, curl flat defender who'll end up picking up the hitch. Okay, so what'll end up happening is, should the back number three come to them, he'll be picked up by the mic because our whip will end up taking the hitch. And I'll show that to you when we get to that part of the diagram. Okay, so that's our match and our zone side assignment. So now let's get to the diagram. Okay, first things first, this is a zone coverage, even though we have a match side to it. All of our pass coverage defenders, whether they're match or zone side, they read surface first. And in our 3-4, their portion of the surface is the uncovered offensive lineman. So on each side, it's the guard. Okay? It's the guard. This is our base front. So these 4 are reading that guard, and these 3 are reading that guard. So when I say surface, it's the guard on their side, because that guard will give them the hi-hat read. Okay, they read that surface for a run, pass, or direction. So in this video, it's going to be they get the hi-hat. Okay, so let's start off first with the field corner, right? He's got 1 vertical. Sorry about that. My bad. So if you've been looking at that and say, what's going on? How does he know? My apologies. Okay, so what happens is he's got 1 vertical, or he's got 1 going out. Okay, one's going to run that hitch or run that smash, right? Usually it's 4 to 6 with the steps of yards, right? So when that happens, he's tempoing. He's going to make the lightning call. Okay, so he's in his outside shade. He hears lightning. He's coming off, and he's taking number 1. He's expecting 1 to be coming to him. When he isn't, he's got to go to 1. Okay, so then now, I know normally I do this in green. I'm trying not to go back and forth and eat up a lot of time. My apologies. So now when he makes that lightning call, he's going to work in to carry number 2 on the vertical. And then he ends up taking the corner out, capping the corner here in the smash concept. Okay? So this is where the quarterback would like to go with the football. He'll try and lead the receiver to the void in the coverage. So by matching it that way, there really isn't a void. Okay? So that's how we defend the hitch portion of the smash and the corner portion of the smash on the match side. So now the safety, who's reading that same uncovered guard, okay, gets the hi-hat. He's going to rotate middle. So pre-snap, they both communicate orally, Roger, and there's a signal that they use. I'm not going to show you what that is, but that's for a film, so we can see that they made the signal. I've never been a believer in the players saying, well, I told them. There's no way to verify. And we're not getting into that game. No way. So you signal and you say it. Signal and say and signal, right? Make sure your players do that. Hold them accountable. So he's going to be rotating to the middle. As he's rotating, he's reading number 2. Okay? So number 2 is running that same corner route, right? So the break here is usually at 10 yards, sometimes maybe 12, depending on is it a 3-step or a 5-step. So we'll say the same thing there, and he's going to break to the corner. Okay? So he's got to really skedaddle to carry, thinking it's going vertical or a post. And when it doesn't, he's got to have eyes to see that he's got the help from the boundary corner. So I'm going to stop there for the time being. Okay? Let's get to the whip safety who's screwing down. He's the curl flat defender. Same thing. On the snap, this is the picture we showed before the snap. Nobody moves or spins until the ball's snapped. As he's coming down, we say, hey, if you can reroute 2, please do. Right? Not that this tight end's necessarily going to let him, but if you can just get a glove on it without chasing him, we don't chase, then do it. Okay? So let's just assume that they miss each other. Okay? As he starts screwing down, he's reading the same thing. So that guard's telling him he's got pass. Otherwise, it's Sky supporting the run, right? Another beautiful thing about 3 matches, you're bringing another guy down into the box. So as he's coming down, okay, he sees that's the vertical. His eyes now go to number 1. Okay, so now on the zone side, okay, so I'll come back to these guys in a second. He's cluing 2. He sees he's got the vertical. What's number 1 doing? When he sees that it's the hitch, he's going to work towards the vertical of 2. He's no vertical threat from 1. So now when it breaks to the corner, he's in the position to cap the corner. The free safety, meanwhile, hustling over, thinking he's got to carry the vertical, sees the corner there. He can now balance up, and you have a outside inside bracket of sorts on the corner. Not really as much because he's running away from the free safety, but you still do, right? And now he's at least in a position, if the indicator's going this way, he can hustle back. If the indicator's coming over here, he would continue in that direction to answer that question, okay? But that's how we would cover the corner. Now, right, so I came back to the free. Now let's get back to our curl flat defender. Now I'm going to switch without taking much time. He's coming down, so we get a little bit different color look there. He sees he's got the hitch. He's got to buzz, get on top of that hitch now. Because just like the curl flat concept, that's kind of the Achilles heel of the zone. Same thing for the hitch and the smash concept. So he sees coming and sees that vertical. He's got to be he doesn't wait till he settles. He's got to see that and immediately hustle over there to get ready to make an open field tackle and limit yards after the catch. Okay? Because quarterbacks, they're not going to be patient. You know, they'll hit that hitch a couple of times, but then they want to go down to the corner, right? Quarterbacks want to go downfield. It's a rare quarterback will take what you give them. Okay? So that's how we cover the hitch with our curl flat defender, and that's how we end up covering the corner with our third defender, right? So now we got our read rush rover, and we got our hook curl, who's going to end up matching number 3. I saved the 2 inside linebackers for last. So the things that our rovers do, and what's meant by that T, is when that ball snapped, knockback, get a fistful of tight end. Okay, the rover's the only one who doesn't read the uncovered guard. He's all about the tight end. So the coaching point that we give to our rovers, as soon as you start to turn, whether it's your shoulders or hips or both, you got to let them go. I don't want you getting eaten up with time and out of position so you can rush. Not to mention the clock's ticking and you're allowing the quarterback time to get comfortable. So here, quick recognition. He's going to hear pass calls all around him. Reroute the tight end, get into your rush. So what we typically do is the defensive end on the side of the rover, and he knows who he is. On a pass, he's going to rush into the B gap, and I'm assuming here that we don't have any line stunt on, okay, in this particular call. It's just a base call. So after he reroutes the tight end, the read is, okay, if you can beat the tackle with speed, get across the top of him, that's your first option, right? But if the tackle has done a good job vertically setting, okay, and you can't do that, then we give our rovers the green light to counter move back inside. Because this guard, in all likelihood, is going to be eaten up by the defensive end. And the rover, in this case, has the ability to pull the old little surprise to the quarterback as he shows up in his face. Okay? So that's the read. Okay? So now last, certainly not least, our 2 inside linebackers. All right, since there's no threats to the hook curl area, which is typically from the football to the hash mark here, right? If this were the hash, that's the hook area. There's no threat to the curl because number 1's running a hitch route and right 2's gone vertically on a corner. So now he is matching up on number 3 just like the match backer is over here. So the way it works is simple. He comes to you, you take him. Okay, boom, done. That's our base rule for our match quarters concepts. Okay, so this is something they're familiar with and they rep and practice all the time. So the way it works, in this case, if 3 comes to the match backer here, right, then he's going to take him. He goes away from you. You become the mirror spy. And what that means is spy's a spy on the quarterback, but the mirror, it's a technique. We teach and rep our linebackers how to literally be in the mirror of the quarterback. So as he's looking downfield, he sees you. And that's what we want. Okay? So it goes from being a 1, 2, 3, 4-man rush. If he's in the protection, again, assuming there's no line stunt or game on, this defensive end's got outside cage, right-handed quarterback. We have our nose rush up the quarterback's arm side, so it'd be the left A gap on a right-handed quarterback. He fits in protection. He's going to add to the rush through the B gap. So now you got a 5-man rush with a spy. Oh, it's a beautiful thing, right? And that's just part of the coverage. If it were to happen over here, it would be the same thing, okay? And we call this the key rush. Running back in protection. Key rush. The linebacker adds to the rush. So if it happened this way, he'd rush through the A gap because we got somebody in the A, B, C. So we got all the gaps accounted for, so the quarterback can't step up and potentially run right through an open gap. All right? So that's how we defend the smash concept on both the match side as well as the zone side, and that's how we account for the running back who happens to be number 3 in this case. So what I'm doing is I'm introducing to you all the 2-man concepts, and then eventually we'll get to the point where we can create a full field concept with 2-man concept on one side, and then what's the tag concept on the backside, with a complementary concept on the backside. We're getting there. So again, my subscribers, thank you. I appreciate you. And non-subscribers, I really hope I've teased you into pushing that button.